So the Megillah is it's a cryptic sefer. A lot of nooks and crannies, a lot of twists and turns, a lot of hidden messages. So when Chazal would teach the Megillah, they would quote a pasuk before from somewhere in Tanakh by association, by reading that pasuk and associating with the Megillah, you tweak out new meanings from the Megillah, like the Haggadah, Tzei Elamad. So the base of the Haggadah, Tzei Elamad, are the 4 psukim in Kisava that describe the Geula, and to help amplify those psukim, the Baal Haggadah, whoever wrote the Haggadah, was assembled by different people, quote psukim from Tanakh to help make sense of those phrases in Kisava. So the same thing happened in Megillah. So Shmuel, the Amora, would read the following pasuk: V'afgam zospi hosam be'eretz oivehem lo miastim v'lo gealtim l'chalosam lefer brisi itam. Shmuel would say, quote the pasuk in the Tocham b'chulkosai. Why is he quoting a pasuk in b'chulkosai to help frame or contextualize Megillah Esther? The answer is, you have to know your history. So much of Avodas Hashem is just knowing the history of the Jewish people, putting things into context, when people lived. When you read Gemara, look up who the people were, when they lived, where the Tanam, where the Amoraim, where the Rishonim lived. It's a living organism. It's not just some static set of concepts. It is eternal, which means that it supersedes history, but it's also historically dynamic. So, about 70 plus years, hard to know, a lot of timeline disfigurations, about 70 plus years before the Nesa Purim, Am Yisrael had been exiled from Eretz Yisrael in 2 successive waves. First, Nebuchadnezzar exiled the leadership and established a puppet government, Sidkiyahu. Then 18 years later, there was rebellion. The Jews rebelled against Nebuchadnezzar, joined sides with the Egyptians, and then everyone was evicted. The Beis HaMikdash was destroyed. Now it's about 70 years later, and we've returned to Eretz Yisrael. And we start to build the Beis HaMikdash under Koresh's authorization. But now it stops, because there's a lot of opposition amongst the local settlers in Israel to the Jewish expansionism. So everything stops. And it seems like Jewish history is stuck in the mud. And that's what's happening during Megillah Esther. We had betrayed HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and it wasn't clear whether we were still the chosen people. It wasn't clear whether all the Haftachos HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised us would come true. After all, we saw a lot of kings ascending and descending, Nebuchadnezzar and Belshazzar and Koresh and Achashverosh and so many people, and we were on the sidelines. And this was Haman's gamble. Haman was a fool, wasn't a fool. Haman studied history. He knew that HaKadosh Baruch Hu selected Avram. He knew that HaKadosh Baruch Hu delivered Am Yisrael from him. He knew that HaKadosh Baruch Hu split the sea. He knew that HaKadosh Baruch Hu delivered the new. That was all in the past. That was all in the past. Am Yisrael had betrayed that chosenness. And Hashem had kicked them to the side of the road, evicting them from His land, exiling them from His Mikdash. And now maybe Hashem is looking for a different candidate. Yeshno am echad mefuzim afarad bein hamim. They're no longer a special nation with their unique qualities. They're just scattered like all the other nations. Now's my chance. Now's my chance. And you know what? The conditions in Shushan certainly corroborated Haman's gamble. Because there was a genocidal decree and we didn't have any political clout. No one really knew Esther was a Jew or Jewess. We rallied, we davened, and we proved that as much as we betray HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and as much as we wander, as much as we sin, as much as we may find ourselves, be'eretz oivehem, lo mastim, I will not contempt you, v'lo ge'altim, I will not spurn you, l'hafar brisi itam, to violate my bris, to violate my covenant. We may not be righteous, we may not merit full redemption, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu reinforced the bris. That's why it's a mini Har Sinai, Kimu v'Kibbul. It's a mini Har Sinai because it reinforced the bris that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will never discard us. And then within a few years, it's hard to know. Less than 18, but we don't really know how many. Ezra and Nehemiah returned and built the Beis HaMikdash and launched the second Beis HaMikdash era. And Purim, with its message to us, provided the final thrust to take us back home. Because it reminded us, I will not violate the contract. We want Hashem, and He won't to us. That's why Shmuel quoted that lesson. Purim Sameach.